Good morning. How are y'all today? As we started out with this, we want to end with this. We started out being very transparent, and we want to end being very transparent. And what I mean by end, we're starting to come to a conclusion with the on scene part of things that's going on with this. I'll let the guys behind me refer and discuss some more of that here in just a few minutes. It really saddens me that we still have 2 souls that we have not been able to locate at this point. I've talked with both of those families last night and this morning. We still have some testing to do in efforts to get that complete. We hope to be finished with that the first of the week. As far as any other things that's going on with the investigation, again, I'll refer to the gentleman behind me with that, and Sheriff Crabb.
We're going to let the gentleman back here explain kind of where we're at and what's going on and everything. I just wanted to take a moment and just advise everybody, please continue to keep the families in your prayers. Everybody's been on the scene working, and also just a big thank you to our communities that has come out and provided food for everyone that's been on the scene working. This has been several days and a lot of long hours, and the support has just been overwhelming. So we just want to give a thank you to everyone that's came out and helped us in that process.
Thanks, Sheriff. Okay. Good morning. I'm Jamie Van Vliet. I'm a Special Agent in Charge for ATF's Nashville Field Division. Over the past 2 weeks, investigators from ATF's National Response Team, working side by side with our division agents and state and local partners, have spent nearly every daylight hour processing this enormous scene and conducting numerous interviews and scouring through records. Our National Response Team, certified explosive specialists, engineers, chemists, and other experts work carefully, oftentimes on their knees, hand sifting and methodically examining every inch of the affected area, while documenting and collecting evidence to find what caused this tragedy, to find answers for those lives forever changed by it. Today, that part of our work, processing the scene, is complete. Through this process, our investigators have identified an area of origin, which is the area where the explosion originated, on the lower floor production level. And they have developed multiple scientific hypotheses regarding what caused this tragedy. While our physical work here has ended, our investigation is far from over. The next phase of this investigation happens at ATF labs and in testing facilities, where the evidence collected from the scene will be analyzed, examined, and tested, where the scene analysis and evidence-based explanations of what could cause the explosion will be researched, tested, and retested through the scientific process. Those results don't come quickly. They come through time, care, and precision. And that's what this community deserves, answers that are proven, not guessed. Until that time, until information is confirmed, I will not speculate on the cause of the explosion or comment on a potential cause, except to say, at this point, there is no indication of a threat to public safety. I do want to take a moment to address the families who lost so much. We know nothing we do can take away the pain of the precious lives lost. No investigation, no report, no determination can erase that. It is our hope that finding answers will be a step toward helping this community begin to heal. That's what drives every one of us who stands with me here today. I also want to take this moment to thank our partners. I can't say enough about the leadership of Sheriff Davis, Sheriff Crabb, and Director Roush throughout this entire response. And to this community, thank you. Thank you for your patience, your kindness, and your strength. We've seen it on your faces, and the meals dropped off to our entire team members, and the quiet prayers you've offered. You've shown great grace through unimaginable heartbreak, and it has meant more to us than you know. As we move forward, we will continue to share information when we are certain of it. Until then, please know that our commitment to this community doesn't end today. I thank you for the support as we continue this investigation, and I wish you all the best. And I'd like to introduce my colleague, Special Agent in Charge Bryce McCracken.
Thanks, Jamie. Good morning. I'm Bryce McCracken, Special Agent in Charge for ATF's National Center for Explosives Training and Research, and I have the privilege of overseeing our national response team. I want to provide you guys with some technical information regarding what the team did here on site in McEwen. Over the 12 days on scene, the NRT and the entire investigative team accomplished a significant amount of work. As I discussed at our first press conference on Saturday, October 11th, the methodology for scene processing was a tiered approach that involved the identification and safe collection of explosive hazards, the identification and respectful recovery of victims, and finally the post-blast investigation to identify the origin and cause of the explosion. I'll speak on the post-blast investigation shortly. When tackling an enormous and complex scene like this one, the NRT separates into two investigative teams. One group solely focuses on examination and processing of the scene, and the second group, called the leads team, is responsible for everything else. That includes witness interviews, document collection and review, video collection and review, canvassing for witnesses, and following up on any other actionable leads that come throughout the course of the investigation. To give you a sense of the scope of our work and what was accomplished here on our 12 days on scene, the leads team generated 290 leads and completed 277 reports of investigation. Additionally, during the last days of the call-out, the leads desk received over 14,000 documents from Accurate Energetic Systems that were preliminarily reviewed. In addition, the team collected 12 explosive samples for additional testing and analysis at ATF's Forensic Science Laboratory. During the same time, the scene team documented all items of evidentiary value utilizing total station, GPS, 3D scanning, unmanned aerial systems, and 360-degree photography. During this process, approximately 500 acres of wooded property surrounding the blast site was searched by more than 80 members of ATF's National Response Team and special agents from our Louisville and Nashville field divisions. They were again searching for explosive hazards, victims, and explosive manufacturing equipment, which was kicked out during the initial explosion. During the investigation, it was determined that approximately 24,000 to 28,000 pounds of high explosives detonated during the explosion on October 10th. In addition, ATF explosive disposal operations were conducted throughout this investigation, with nearly 1,000 pounds of undetonated explosives that were recovered on site being safely disposed of here. The team began processing the explosive post-blast scene by working from the outer perimeter into the blast seat, which was located in Building 602. Building 602 was a 15,000 square foot building known as the Mill Cast and Pour Cast building. It was primarily used to make various types of cast boosters, which are used in the commercial mining industry. The building contained a mezzanine level with 6 melting kettles, and the main floor contained at least 3 production kettles. Explosives were mixed on the mezzanine before being pumped into the heating kettles on that main floor. In addition to those heating kettles, there were finished explosives on the main floor by the loading dock, along with a cooling area where the cast boosters were cooled prior to being packaged. As I mentioned earlier, the scene was processed around Building 602 before the team began to process the remains of Building 602. The building was divided in half. The half of the building that showed the least amount of explosive cratering and explosive damage was where we started first, before working into the area with the most damage. The team made their way to the blast seat, which is the suspected area of origin. After a systematic and methodical investigation, the lead certified explosive specialist for the NRT, along with other ATF explosive subject matter experts, determined the area of origin to be on the first floor of the manufacturing area near those production kettles. The cause of the explosion, as Zach Van Vliet mentioned, remains under investigation and will require further analysis and research regarding the chemical composition of the precursor materials and mixtures that are involved in this manufacturing process and their decomposition levels, heat regulation, and other possible causes of the explosion. I want to take a moment to say that I couldn't be more proud of the team's work and the progress that we've made so far. They spent every daylight hour here for the past 12 days, methodically, tirelessly, and always with professionalism and heart to find answers for the community. Now that the scene processing is complete, I ask for your patience as we conduct further analysis and research and laboratory testing. When the origin and cause report for this investigation is completed and our findings are confirmed and finalized, we will be happy to share with the victims' families and the community those results. I'll be available at the end of the press conference to answer any further questions, and we have a display that I'll show at that time. Thank you.
Director Rouse.
Good morning. Let me also share in the prayers to this community, to the families impacted by this tragedy. The role that the TBI played in this was to assist with the investigative process as well as in the identification of those lost. As you know, at this point, 14 of 16 of the victims have been identified, and that is through the process of the collection of all possible evidence and materials of those remains of those who perished. All the testing that we have done at this point has identified 14 of the 16. The challenge, obviously, that exists is because of the nature of the scene, not being able to get remains to be able to positively identify the other two at this point. However, I can tell you in terms of expectations, when we arrived on scene and had conversations with the medical examiner's office, the expectation was 40 to 50% identification, and we were able to do over 87% identification in this. While that is certainly exceeded the expectations, it certainly didn't meet what we were hoping. We were hoping to positively identify all 16 victims. The efforts continue as we have more to test, but at this point that's where we are with our piece in this. I do want to thank the agencies, all that were involved, law enforcement as well as many others that came out and responded to this scene and provided their assistance. Too numerous to mention, but I can tell you they all came together quickly, and one of the blessings we have in Tennessee is we have such a great group of professionals that when we come together, we all work diligently to assure that whatever it is we're dealing with, whatever the tragedy, that we're all working closely together to get the answers that community needs and that families need. And I can tell you that won't stop. We'll continue to support this investigative effort with the ATF. And we are so appreciative of the professionalism of all involved. And we certainly stand ready to support in this continued effort, and happy to answer any questions as well. Thank you.
Director, on behalf of the families, Sheriff Kraft and I visited. They can't say thank you enough for the things y'all did to help get some kind of closure. When we said slow and methodical, in some of the earlier conferences, what we've alluded to and what you've heard is some of the descriptions of why we were saying things. At one time, we discussed yesterday that there was more than 500 acres that was searched shoulder to shoulder. You even heard them say it, talking about on their knees and having to cut through things at one time. And that was some things that we didn't necessarily want to go into at the time. We found items of interest from this situation more than a half mile away. And as the guy said, we may be finished here at the scene, and I can lay down my head at night and say that I think we've done the very best that can be done. And I have great confidence in that, and I have great confidence in how this thing will finish up, and the remainder of the stuff that'll be looked at and how it's being looked at. And Sheriff Kraft, do you have anything you want to add?